then, cool, here we go. So this one was inspired by this really, welcome, I should say, welcome. This one's inspired by this really curious little book. I read a review of it, I don't know, a few weeks ago. And then when I went into the library, it was there. And it's called Recovery, The Lost Art of Convalescence by a GP called Gavin Francis. I think I mentioned it to you last week. And anyway, when he was a boy, he had two experiences of quite significant illnesses. The first one was a bicycle injury. He fell off his bicycle and broke his leg quite badly. So was forced to spend almost a year in plaster, if you can believe it, because it was very, very serious, the injury that he received. However, he made a full recovery. But after that, he was unlucky enough to contract meningitis. So again, he had a period of quite serious and significant illness, which required a period of recovery. And these kind of formative experiences went on to shape his journey as a GP. And he began to think very carefully about the advice that he was giving to his own patients when they were ill. And the consequence of that, if you like, was this little book when he looks into the history of convalescing and recovering and how we treat our bodies. And it's so much more than that, really, because it's really a little book which shows us how we have almost lost that intuitive wisdom that comes with listening to our bodies. We're in such a rush, or maybe under such pressure to get back to our daily lives, get back to work, that we override that kind of instinct that's telling us we need, after a period of mental, physical, whatever it is. Maybe COVID is a time to really consider aspects like this. We need time to let our minds and our bodies heal from the experiences that they've had. We don't often allow ourselves that. And there's a beautiful quote in it that he reads from, that he writes about, from a Bengali poet who wrote, "In the rhythm of life, pauses there must be for the renewal of life. Life in its activity is ever spending itself, burning all its fuel." I think those are very wise words, aren't they? That even if we're not ill, physically or mentally, if we're lucky enough to enjoy relative good health, we all know that that condition of burnout or feeling exhausted or run down is a very real experience that many of us go through. So to build in those pockets of rest are absolutely vital for all of us, to give ourselves that kind of period of renewal to get back into the game. And I always think that yoga is such an opportunity for us. So really use your practice today as an opportunity for just that, for renewal, for resting, for recovery, whatever kind of day or week you've had. Let's start lying down on our backs today. It's a beautiful, beautiful image there, isn't it, that we need these little moments. So bring your knees in towards your chest, these little pockets of pause in the midst of the busyness. So have a little rock, maybe side to side, or go ahead and circle your knees. If you feel when you put your head on the floor that, you need to pop something underneath your head this morning, just to lift your head up in line with the rest of your spine, go ahead and grab something there. And then let's start by bringing the feet down to the floor this morning. So maybe you want to keep them there. So just pause before you extend the legs. Don't be in any rush. Let's just consider how the low back feels. So if your back's feeling a little tight, if it's more comfortable, more restful. In this pose, it's called constructive rest. The feet wide, the knees just knocked against each other, offering each other a bit of support and a bit of space for the low back. And maybe you want to stay there. If you're comfortable enough to stretch the legs out in front of you, go ahead and do so. I'm just going to come up to talk to you this morning. So before we start to move our bodies, let's take a little moment to arrive at our practice this morning. So whatever kind of week you've had thus far, whatever morning might have brought you to your mat, let's very gently put that to one side so we can enjoy this next hour free from any anxieties or worries or thoughts about the time past, or what might be in the rest of the day and the rest of the week. So this little book I mentioned really does encourage us all to begin to listen to our bodies, to take more seriously those messages that the body sends us, particularly when the body is saying, I need to rest, I need to pause, I just need a little break from it all. Our yoga practice is an ideal opportunity to take such a little break from our routine, to find those little pockets of pause. So let's start to bring the awareness to the breath this morning. If you want to place a hand on your chest, a hand on your belly, go ahead and do so. If you're quite happy keeping the hands down alongside you, then you just go ahead and do whatever feels, again, intuitively right for you this morning. Let's start to tune into those little whispers the body is continually sending us. Beginning to breathe perhaps a little bit more deeply into those lowermost lobes of the lungs if you're comfortable. Drawing the breath in and down. And then exhaling all the way out and up, feeling the shoulders relax, feeling the face just begin to soften there. Smoothing the brow, relaxing the jaw down the sides of the face, into the sides of the neck and the tops of the shoulders. And reminding ourselves that however much or little we choose to do throughout our practice today, our breath comes first with yoga. So these first few moves, let's really take it as an opportunity to tune into our breath. So if your hands are resting gently on your body, let's bring the arms down alongside you, palms down towards the floor. And if your knees are bent, let's sort of straighten the legs out in front of us. So we're all lying in that lovely full body stretch. As you inhale, float the arms up towards the sky. And as you exhale, bring the hands all the way down behind you, softening your rib cage as you go. And just start to circle your feet, circle your wrists there. So you might need to lift your arms a little ways off the floor there. Little circles into the joints this morning. I've got to scoot my way up my mat so I'm not stuck in my bookcase. One of the joys of practicing at home. Few circles one way. And then just change direction. Turning of the wrists, twirling of the ankles there, getting the fingers moving. A little bit warmer this morning, isn't it? Not quite as chilly out there. And then we'll point the toes, reach back through the fingertips, maybe arch your back a little bit, and maybe stretch through one side of the body, reaching out into the right side, and then stretching into the left side, finding a little bit of space. Maybe do that a couple of times, a little kind of hip shuffle there, as you find some space behind you and in front of you. And then we'll come back to that full body stretch as you breathe in. As you breathe out, let's bring the right knee up and in towards your chest, holding in front or behind the knee. Softening the shoulders, making sure the chin doesn't suddenly shoot up towards the ceiling as you squeeze that knee in and down and stretch out through the opposite heel. Now that right knee might track out towards your armpit a little bit, that's fine, but try and keep the toes of the left foot up towards the sky there. Lovely stretch out through the low back, beginning to wake up through the hip. Breathing in into your full body stretch, releasing the arms, releasing the leg. And then as you exhale, let's change sides. So bringing the left knee up and into your chest, stretching out through the opposite heel. So you might find a little lateral stretch through the back. Again, maybe that knee wants to roll open to the side a little bit. One side might be a little stiffer than the other. And let's start to move side to side with the breath now. So as you inhale into that full body stretch, reach the arms back. And as you exhale, right knee comes up and in towards your chest. And then straight back into that stretch when you breathe in. And breathing out, other knee coming up. As we do that a few more times, if you want to start lifting your nose to meet your knee, lifting your upper body up off the floor, feel free. If that's not for you this morning, then keep your head on the floor. Giving that knee a little squeeze. Lovely. Let's do one more with the right knee coming in. Giving your knee a little loving squeeze, and then one more with that left knee coming in and up, giving that knee a little squeeze. And then we'll all meet, stretching out the arms, stretching out the legs back into that full body stretch. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's slide or bring both knees in towards your chest now, one at a time or together. One hand on each knee. Let's take the legs round in a circle now, a little massage out through the low back. Your knees might be apart or together. As you take a little circle around the back of the pelvis there, we'll travel one way and then change direction. Nice. And then bringing the legs to stillness. Any back issues today, feel free to bring your feet down to the floor And do this next one with your feet hip width apart. If you can, keep those knees hugged tightly in towards your belly as you reach the arms out left to right, like the top of a letter T, or you can always cactus the arms if you're a bit tight for space today. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, tip the knees halfway to the right and maybe turn your head to the left. Just a little movement of the legs. Inhale back to the center and over to the other side as you exhale. So head may turn in opposite directions to your knees. And just again, continuing to move with your breath. Use the inhale to come all the way back through the middle and the exhale to take that little tip. So we're not aiming to bring the knees down towards the floor. We're keeping the shoulder blades glued down to the mat. The next time you come back to the middle, let's pause. You can carry on doing those with your heels resting down towards your bottom. Or if you want a little bit more, lift your heels. So your shins are parallel to the floor and your knees are at 90 degrees. Knees on top of hips. Take an inhale. Exhale, resume that little tipping from side to side without changing the angle at the back of the knees. So we've lengthened that heavy lever. So if it starts to pull on your back, if your abdominals really don't want to work that hard this early, then just go ahead and drop your heels down. Let's do one more, tipping over to the left side. And then we'll come all the way back through the middle. Lovely, take an inhale. This time exhaling all the way down, down, down to the right side, bringing those knees down so you can hug the knees up towards your chest or go ahead and slide them further away from you. Reach the arms out from underneath you, so untuck any shoulder blades that feel a little stuck there. Maybe turn your head in the opposite direction to your knees. Just take a couple of breaths into wherever you feel that movement up your spine. The higher up your knees, the higher up your spine, you're going to feel that movement. So go ahead and adjust if you need to. Lovely. Bring your head back to the middle first. And then your knees come back to center as on an inhale and all the way over to the opposite side as you exhale. So again, same rules apply, hugging the knees up or sliding them further away from you, untucking the shoulder blades from underneath you, stretching out through the arms, broad chest. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly come all the way back through the middle. This time we'll bring the feet down to the floor, hip width apart, and snuggle your heels in towards your sit bones. Arms down alongside you, ready for a shoulder bridge. So pressing into your feet, breathing in and breathing out. Let's start to lift the hips, stretching the knees forwards as you lift your bottom up, peeling the spine up. Take a little inhale, maybe a push of the hips up at the top, and exhale to roll your way smoothly down through each little vertebra. We'll inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under. Start with that little scoop of your belly as you lift up. Taking that inhale as you push your hips up. And exhale to roll, roll, roll your way down. Let's do that one more time. So breath in at the bottom. Breathing in. Let's come up and hold this time. So if this is too much, continue to roll up or down. Up and down, I should say. If you're happy holding, let's see if we can maybe reach the arms up towards the sky, turning the palms in to face each other. Now really press your shoulder blades, your upper back down into the floor. Maybe lift your heels and walk your toes a little closer back towards your bottom so your hips are nice and high. Let's keep everything lifted as you inhale. And as you exhale, roll your way down. Arms stay lifted, heels stay lifted. If you can manage this morning, a little bit of control needed as you roll your way down. Lovely. And when your hips touch the floor, bring those knees back in one last time, crossing your ankles this time as you widen your knees. And we'll take again that little circle. This time maybe getting into the sides of the buttocks there. Taking them round in one direction. And then changing the cross of your ankles, and we'll come round in the opposite way. Maybe getting into the sides of the buttocks, as I say, just a lovely massage there through the low back. Now we're going to come up and round to all fours. You can roll to one side, or if you've got the space and the energy, hold behind your knees and roll your way up. And we'll find our way round onto all fours, onto hands and knees. And go ahead and spread your hands nice and wide underneath your shoulders and knees directly underneath your hips there. And press into the floor quite firmly there, so you really feel that you're not collapsing into your shoulders right from the get-go. Firm up through the belly, back nice and long in that tabletop position. And then as you inhale, let the belly dip, tailbone lifts, keep pressing into your hands as you stretch the chin forwards little ways. And then exhale like an angry cat. And maybe closing your eyes as you listen to your body this morning, following your breath. And if your chest or your shoulders feel tight, go ahead and walk your hands a little bit wider apart. That's quite a nice version there because you can really get into the space between your shoulders. So if you struggle with your upper body suffering from tightness, maybe you spend a lot of time at a computer or sitting at a desk, try widening your hands. See how that feels. Let's hold that angry cat position now, tailbone tucked under, that lovely rounding through your back as you gently move your hips from side to side now. You're wagging a tail, maybe beginning to bring your ear towards your shoulders. You're making a little C shape through the body there, side to side, little wag. And then we'll wag ourselves back into that flat back position. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. We're going to tuck the toes under. Keep the hands where they are, but send your bottom back towards your heels. And feel a nice stretch out through the balls of the feet there. So maybe have a little rock back and forth. You might need to walk your hands back a little ways. So we're stretching out through the feet, trying to put some weight back through your heels. So you're stretching out through the feet. Beautiful. And then we'll come back up onto all fours, flattening your feet, keeping your shoulders above your wrist now. Look towards your right hand and turn your right fingertips out to the long edge of your mat. So keep the shoulder above the wrist as you start to shift the weight side to side, keeping the palm flat to the floor. Nice stretch out for the wrist, arm is straight. Now you might want to stay there this morning or turn your hands back another 90 degrees so your fingertips are facing your knee. And this time we rock forwards and backwards, pressing your palm down and then bringing the weight forward. So you might feel like me, a stretch in the underside of the wrist there. Oh, I can feel that. Let's all bring our weight forward so we can safely pick up the hand, give it a little shake, and place it carefully back down. Other side, so let's just turn the fingertips out to the side. Weight is forward as we shift side to side. And the reason why I keep saying our weight is forward is we tend to cheat here and drop our weight back, and so we get less of a stretch. So by keeping your shoulder above your wrist, we're getting the full benefit. If you want to turn your fingers back, so your fingertips are facing your knee, and then we start to rock forwards and backwards, trying to keep the palm flat to the floor. Ooh. Now I notice my dominant hand, my right hand, is definitely stiffer than my left. You might notice that about yourself too. Let's all bring the weight forwards, turn the fingertips forwards, get the hands a little shake, hands under the shoulders, feet flat this time, take an inhale. Exhale into a child pose, reach the arms forwards, come up onto the tips of your fingers and thumbs, give those wrists a little rest. Press your fingers forwards and down, hug your hips back towards your heels, and find that nice stretch out through the side of the body, the back of the body. Try not to have the shoulders clamped up around your ears. And then palms come down to the floor, nudge your bottom over to the left as you bring both hands over to the right side of your mat. So go ahead and bend up that right arm so you can rest your head on the back of your hand as you reach the left fingertips away from you on the diagonal, dropping the shoulder down, trying to draw that left hip down towards your heel and breathing into the whole side of the body there, stretching into the little space between the ribs. Oh, that's a lovely stretch out to the top of the hip. Let's come back through the middle. Move your bottom to the right, hands over to the left side of your mat, and go ahead and bend up your left arm this time. Rest your head on your hand there as you reach the right fingertips even further away from you if you can, dropping the shoulder down. And again, you might notice as we start to become more aware of our bodies, those little imbalances, maybe one side feels more open. Nice, let's come all the way back through the middle, keeping the arms outstretched in front of you. Back in that child pose, you can stay here or join me in that little moving sequence. Inhaling, pulling the body up onto all fours. And exhale as you lower down between your arms. Lovely. Inhale as you pick up the chest. And exhale, hips to heels. Keep the arms outstretched in front of you. Twice more. Inhale to rise up through all fours. And exhale, keep those elbows tucked in as we come down onto our tummies. Picking up your chest, hips down as you inhale. And then exhale, hips back. Lovely. Let's do that one more time. Rolling our way forwards and then all the way down. Lovely. Shoulders away from ears as you peel your way back up through a little baby cobra, and then bottom to heels. We're going to come all the way down onto our tummy. So if you were in child pose, go ahead and make your way down, sliding elbows under your shoulders for a Sphinx pose. So just check your shoulders aren't back around your ribs and your chest is low. We want a lovely long line from navel to the top of your throat. Stretch the toes out from behind you and press down into your elbows and your forearms there. Chin parallel to the floor. Now take a little look over your right shoulder and press into your left elbow. Try and keep your chin level with the floor. Let's come back through the center. We'll take the head to the left and press into right elbow, a little bit more firmly. One more each way, inhaling to center. Exhaling, look to the right, and we press into that left elbow. Inhale through the middle, and exhaling over to the opposite side. Lovely, we'll come back through the middle. Imagine now you want to draw your elbows back towards the sides of your body, stretching out through the legs, heavy through the hips. Beautiful, we'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, elbows wide, hands under the shoulders, as we come onto all fours. So sliding the right leg back behind you without rolling the hip open. We're going to lift that leg level with the hip there, toes dial down. We'll take an inhale. Exhale, knee to chest, nose to knee, rounding through the back. Inhale, extend. So take the gaze forwards as you extend the leg back. And then squeeze everything to the middle, pressing into your hands. Let's do that twice more. Inhale. Beautiful. And exhale. Lovely. One more time. Inhaling, extending through the body. And exhaling to squeeze in. Lovely. Let's keep the leg extended this time. Toes down. Gazing forwards. Option to stay there or reach the left arm forward. You can keep the fingertips on the floor. Or go ahead and lengthen up through the arm. Shoulder and hip height, thumb up towards the sky with that front arm. So if you can lift a little bit higher and then bring the hand down, bring the foot to the floor, have a little rock back and forth over the ball of the foot. We've got the option to stay there or join me in a downward dog this morning, taking this thing out of the knees as you stretch out through the legs, starting that slow pedal. And really challenge yourself to marry that movement with your breath. Inhaling as you bend one knee and exhaling to change sides. Hips stay all the way up and back. Beautiful. As you inhale, let's all lower to all fours, flattening feet. And exhale, bottom to heels. Ready for our floor flow or staying there. Inhaling, pulling the body forwards onto all fours. And exhaling all the way down to the floor. Inhaling, lifting up. And exhaling, bottom to heels. Lovely. Let's do that once more. Rounding up as you inhale, getting the body moving with the breath now. Lovely. Inhale. And exhale. Let's all meet in that child pose. And then finding our way onto all fours, we'll try that little stretch on the other side. So as you take the left leg back this time, try not to roll the hip out to the side. Lifting the leg, feel the belly firm up so you're not sagging in the middle. Take an inhale. Exhale, knee to chest, nose to knee. Press into your hands. Lovely. Extend on an inhale. And exhale to squeeze it all in. Lovely. Twice more. Feeling that lovely expansion as you inhale and that contraction as you exhale. I'm on my last one. And then we'll go ahead and keep that leg extended. Gazing forwards, toes dial down, option to stay there, or go ahead and slide the right hand forward this time. Maybe lifting the arm one side, you might need to keep the hand down. It feels wibbly wobbly, stretching out. Hand coming down, ball of foot to floor behind you. And again, have that little rock back and forth, just stretching out through the back of the knee into the foot. Option to stay there, or again, pushing up into your downward dog. Maybe this time you add a little twist. So as you straighten one leg, you turn to look underneath the armpit there. Hips up and back. And you can lower down to all fours or join me inhaling to plank this time, shoulders above wrists. And as you exhale, knees touch down, chest touches down. Lovely. Flatten the feet, pick up the chest, take an inhale into a little baby cobra. Exhale to lower. Lovely. Let's come all the way back onto all fours. And then tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog, stretching the hips up and back. And then from your down dog, walk your hands back towards your feet. So we'll all end up in a forward fold at the back of your mat. Go ahead and bend your knees really generously, cradle your elbows, and have that little movement, that sway side to side. And as ever, if you don't like being in a forward fold this morning, just lift your hands up your legs and lift your head higher than your heart. If you're okay in that forward fold, stay there just a little longer, enjoying that release through the hamstrings as you bend the knees. And then let go of the elbows. We'll start to roll our way up to standing. Take your time, rebuilding the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Roll your way up. Lovely. So we're all at the back of the mats. Let's bend the knees as you sweep the arms all the way up towards the sky. Breathing in. And breathing out. Bring the hands down towards your heart. Lovely. Let's do that twice more. So a deep knee bend. Inhale, sweep the arms up. I'm just going to adjust the camera slightly. And as you exhale, hands coming down to hearts. Lovely. One more time. Deep knee bend. Inhale. And exhaling, hands to heart. Lovely. So this time we're going to sweep the arms all the way up, turning the palms forwards, catching hold of your right forearm with your left hand. Let's take a little tug up as you inhale and all the way over the top. Lovely half moon stretch. Press into that right heel a little bit more firmly. See if you can find even more space. Beautiful, up through the middle, changing sides. Little tug up through the left forearm and then over the top. Oh, that feels good. Press into your left heel a little bit more firmly. Lovely, reaching up towards the ceiling, breathing in. As you breathe out, hands come all the way back behind you this time. Hands onto your lower back. We'll soften the knees, loop the shoulders away from the ears as you lengthen through the front body. Maybe the chin lifts a little bit. Lovely, we'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, bend the knees as you slide the hands all the way down the backs of the legs, really bending your knees until you bring your hands around the backs of your calves. Crown of head dropping down. Now just straighten your right leg. It might not completely straighten, pushing the hip back as you inhale. And exhale, bend both knees. Other side, inhale as you straighten the leg. And exhale to bend. We do one more each way. Oh, a lovely stretch out through the back of the leg. Your leg might not go completely straight. Left leg straightening. Beautiful. And then release. Bring the hands down to the floor. Feet stay where they are as you walk your way back into a downward dog. Lovely. So even yourself up on your mat as you bring your big toes and your ankles together. You can do all of this from all fours if you prefer this morning. On your next inhale, let's float the right leg up and back, turning the toes out slightly. And as you exhale, we'll lower the foot to the floor. Other side, try not to transfer the weight from hand to hand. Left leg floats up as you inhale. And exhale, foot coming down. Should we try one more with that right leg? Pausing now, right leg lifted. And really rise up onto the ball of the underneath foot as you inhale. Exhale, knee to chest. And we're going to place that foot down and lower the back knee. Untucking any toes that are tucked under. Bring both hands onto that right knee or thigh so you can lift yourself up. And then just allow your weight to drop forward so you feel a little stretch in the front of that left hip there. Beautiful. Now as you release the arms, I'm going to sweep the arms out and up, pressing into that front foot so your shoulders draw back in line with the hips. And as you exhale, hands to heart, let the weight shift forwards. Lovely. And again, out and up as you inhale, pressing the floor away. And exhale, just let the hips sink forwards. Lovely. We'll do that one more time. So inhaling, reaching up. This time as we exhale, hands coming down to heart, we'll shift the weight forwards, taking a little twist to the right, seeing if you can hook left elbow over right thigh. We'll press the palms together. You can always make fists if you need a little bit more space. Fingertips pointing forwards if you've got your palms together, turning that top elbow up towards the sky, lifting your chest. Beautiful. And then hands coming down, pick up the back knee and we'll step back into downward facing dog. Option to stay there or take a little vinyasa, rolling the body forwards to plank as you inhale. Exhale, knees down, chest down. Lovely. Picking up your chest, little baby cobra, hips heavy. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Lovely. Push up all fours. Either take a child pose or straight back up into downward facing dog this morning. Hips nice and high. Lovely. Taking that little pedal out through the feet. And then again, we'll bring the big toes as close together as feels comfortable, pushing the hips up and back, left leg leading this time. So as we inhale, left leg floats up and back. And as you exhale, let's bring the foot all the way down. Lovely. Right leg lifting up, trying again not to shift the weight from hand to hand. And then lower down, down, down. Last time, left leg lifting. Pause. Rise up onto the ball of that underneath foot. Take an inhale. Exhale, step or help that left foot forwards. And lower the back knee. Lovely. I'm going to flatten my foot. You might want to keep the toes tucked, but I find it gives me more stability. Hand to that front knee or thigh. So we can lift ourselves up, chest nice and proud. So we keep the chest lifted, we just let the weight drop forward. So we're feeling a nice shift and stretch in the front of the hip. Beautiful. Are we ready with the arms? So release the arms. And then as we inhale, arms out and up. So we push the floor away, so the chest lifts. And then exhale, allow the weight to shift forwards and down. So we get that little stretch in the hip. Lovely. Go easy on this one with any hip issues. You can always keep your shoulders above your hips and miss out this little shifting of the weight forwards. Lovely. If it's nice on the hip, inhale. Exhale. Let's all bring the hands to the heart, shifting the weight forwards, spinning the chest to the left this time. Right elbow over left thigh. So we're spinning the chest. Remember, you can stack fists instead of palm to palm. Fingertips pointing forwards if you've got your palms together. Maybe taking a peep up over that top elbow. Ooh, lovely. We'll bring the hands down. Pick up the back knee, downward dog, or take a rest on all fours in a child pose. Listen to your bodies. Inhale to plank if you're with me. Maybe knees stay lifted this time as you lower yourself down onto your tummy. Lovely. Little baby cobra as you inhale. This time as you exhale, toes tuck, hips lift, downward dog. From your downward dog, we'll take a walk forwards now. So your feet are coming towards your hands at the top of your mat. Again, go ahead and bend your knees nice and generously. Take the heat out of those hamstrings. And then slide the hands up the legs to your shins and then to your thighs, stretching the chest forwards into our flat back. So really firm up through the belly. Stretch out through the crown of the head, shoulders away from ears. Hands might stay on the thighs if you've got back issues. We'll go ahead and reach them out to the side like aeroplane wings, pressing the back of the hands up to the sky. Beautiful. You're going to bend the knees. Sweep the fingertips towards the floor and then all the way up into a wide V as we come into a chair pose. Sinking the hips down and back. Beautiful. Rising all the way up to stand. Option to keep the heels down or add that little balance by rising up onto the balls of the feet. And then slowly, slowly lowering the heels as you bring the hands all the way down and back to the heart as the heels drop. Beautiful. I'm just going to turn to the other side of my mat so I can mirror you. So we're all at the top of the mat. We're going to be stepping our right leg back first. So make sure you've got some space behind you. Beautiful. So here we go. A little bit of flow. Let's put it all together. So as you bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way out and up. Take an inhale as you take hold of that right wrist. Exhale, let's come over the top in that little half moon. Lovely. Inhale through the middle, changing sides. Exhaling all the way over the top. Inhale, reaching up towards the sky. And as you exhale, hands come all the way behind you. Maybe this time interlacing the hands, palms open. Soften the knees as you draw the knuckles down. Lift your chest. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, bend the knees generously as you drape your body forwards and down. Arms might lift up and over. If you prefer to bring your fingertips to the floor, feel free. Beautiful. Bring your hands onto your low back. Keep the knees bent as you sweep the fingertips forwards and up into a chair pose as you inhale. And exhale as you sink a little bit deeper. Rising all the way up to stand, maybe with that little balance, rising on up. And then lower the hands, lower the heels with resistance, hands coming to heart. Deep knee bend, sweep the arms out and up as you inhale. Straight back down this time as you exhale into that forward fold. Fingertips to floor, shins or thighs, so you can lift up halfway. And then bend the knees, plant the hands, slide or step your right leg back behind you. Now you can lower the knee or keep it lifted with a high lunge. If you're joining me in a high lunge, left foot walks to left hand a little ways. And then hand to that front thigh. So again, make sure you're not leaning the body forwards. Bring the shoulders back in line with the hips. Soften that back knee so you can bring your center right underneath you. Beautiful. Release the fingertips to the floor. And as you straighten both legs, arms come out and up just as we did before. And as you exhale, soften the knees, hands to heart. Exhale, lovely. And again, inhale, sweep the arms up, straightening the legs. Palms might touch above the head. Hands to heart, shoulders stay in line with the hips this time, lovely. One more time, inhale, straighten the legs. And this time as you exhale, drop the back heel in, ready for a warrior two. So you're turning to the long edge of your mat. Go ahead and adjust that front knee if you need to. So if you can see yourself in your camera, make sure you're not leaning forward, shoulders stay on top of the hips. Beautiful. Let's turn that front palm up. Inhale, now we lean forwards. And as you exhale, left arm reaches all the way up and back, reverse your warrior. Lovely, inhaling through the middle. Exhaling, hand or forearm to thigh, top arm up or up and over. Straighten both legs, arrow both arms up, inhale. Exhale, left arm reaches up and back. We reverse our triangle this time, lovely. Both arms reaching up, take an inhale. Exhale, left hand to left thigh, or maybe down to your shin, or maybe resting the back of the hand on the inside of the leg as you find your triangle pose. You can roll your gaze up towards the sky or keep the gaze down. Lovely, pressing the hips gently forwards. And then bend the front knee back into your warrior two, breathing in. One last time to reverse your warrior, breathing out, lovely. Let's come back into our warrior, breath in, and breathing out, big wimble of the hands down, framing that front foot, pivot on the back heel. When you're ready to breathe in, left arm lifts. You can always lower that back knee into our twist. And exhale, hand down. Either a downward dog, or as you inhale, take the left leg up and back into a three-legged dog. And as you exhale, foot to floor. Optional vinyasa here, so you can rest here or join me in a plank pose as you inhale. Lowering down onto your tummy as you exhale. Beautiful. Little cobra or maybe an upward dog, squeezing your bottom as you balance. And exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment if you need a child pose. Again, if you need to rest. I'm just going to turn the opposite way. Breathe. Beautiful. So from your downward dog, bend both knees generously as you look towards your hands. And as you inhale, step to the top of the mat into your flat back. And as you exhale, fold over the legs. Lovely. Sweep the arms all the way out and up as you breathe in. And breathing out, hands coming to hearts. Beautiful. Let's try all of that on the other side. So as you inhale, sweep the arms out and up, catching hold of left wrist or forearm. Exhale, let's come over the top. Lovely. Inhaling through the middle. Changing sides as you exhale, a little tug of the arm all the way up and over. Inhale through the middle, reaching up. And exhale, hands windmill all the way back behind you so you can interlace them. We'll go ahead and just keep the hands on your bottom this morning. Really soften those knees as you lift your chest. Straightening the arms back behind you, take an inhale. Exhale, keep the knees bent as you fold your way down. Arms might lift up and over. And maybe this time you start to straighten the legs back a little bit. Opening up into the backs of the knees. Bring the hands onto your bottom. And then fingertips finding the floor. Lovely. Let's all soften the knees. And as you inhale, sweep the arms all the way out and up into that wide V. And exhale, sink down into that chair pose. Beautiful. We're going to rise up to stand, adding that little balance at the top if you wish. Try not to roll the ankles out. This time, keep the heels lifted as you release the arms all the way down. Hands coming to heart, those heels still lifted. And then lower the heels to the floor. Well done. Keep the heels down this time. Inhaling up. Here we go. Exhaling all the way down into that forward fold. Finding your flat back as you inhale. And this time as you exhale, big stride back with the left leg. So you can slide the leg back or step it. Now you can lower the back knee or walk that right foot towards right hand. So we're ready for that high lunge. Hand to that front knee. So all 10 toes are facing the same direction. Shoulders in line with hips. Still softness in that back knee. So again, you can bring your center underneath you. Here we go. Straightening both legs. Arms sweep up as you inhale. Body comes straight down the middle as you exhale, hands to heart, softening the knees. And again, inhale, big scoop of the arms out and up. Beautiful. Exhale to lower. Ready for our warrior two. So inhaling up. Exhaling, turning to the long edge of your mat. So that back heel turns in. Go ahead and walk that front foot to the middle of your mat if you need to. Pressing that front knee forward. Body doesn't follow. So again, shoulders in line with hips. Lovely. Let's turn right palm up. Now we lean forwards as you inhale. And then exhale, arcing the body all the way back. Keep the front knee bent. Inhaling through the middle. And exhaling, hand to thigh or forearm to thigh. Beautiful. Straighten both legs. Arrow both arms up. Take an inhale. So we reverse our triangle, reaching that right arm all the way up and back. There's some sunshine out there. Beautiful. Reaching the arms up. Take an inhale. Ready for our triangle. So bringing that right hand, maybe it just stays on your thigh. Maybe it comes down a little lower. Maybe you just rest the back of the hand against the leg. Make sure your chest is square to the camera there. And maybe take your gaze up towards the sky. Lovely. Let's bend the front knee back into our warrior as you breathe in. And let's reverse our warrior one last time, breathing out. Beautiful. Back through a warrior. Inhale. Big wimble of the hands down, framing that front foot. Little pivot on the back foot. Right arm lifts into your twist. Take an inhale. Exhale, hand coming down. Downward dog or join me. Inhale, right leg. Woo! Up and back. Three-legged dog. And exhaling, foot to floor. Let's roll the body forwards one last time. Little vinyasa into plank. And exhale to lower. Option little cobra or maybe into an upward dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Pause. Listen to your body. Have a little rest in child pose if you need to. Gather your thoughts, gather your breath. And when you're ready, bending the knees, look forwards. And as you inhale, step, step, or lots of little steps to the top of your mat. And fold down over the legs. Let's sweep the arms all the way out and up one last time. Hands coming down to your heart. Pause. Take a moment. So feet hip width apart. Well done, guys. Beautiful, beautiful. So as we come into our final little balance, so maybe you need to just acknowledge this morning balance maybe isn't what it usually is, or maybe you're just feeling that you want to just move the arms today or use a piece of furniture for support. So it's all good. It's all good. So as you shift the weight into your left leg, let's just pick up the right heel. It comes so you can see my feet. So just make sure you've not bumped the hip out to the side. So really pull up out of that standing leg there. And let's just take a little pivot. So maybe you just open the knee and rest the heel. Maybe you use the inside of the leg as a little kickstand. Or if you're feeling brave, bring that leg up a little higher. Again, same rules apply. We're not bumping the hips out to the side. Pull up even taller. So you gently open that knee out to the side, chest meeting thumbs. Lovely. You might just want to stay there. Beautiful, easy, Jan. Let's take the arms up into a lovely wide V so you can soften the shoulders and really grow tall in that tree pose. Pulling up from the belly, grow even taller. If you're feeling really brave to take your eye gaze up towards the ceiling. Oh, that's a challenge, eh? That's a challenge. Lovely, let the gaze drop. Sweep the arms all the way down the side. Back up to your heart. Let's point that knee forwards and pause in that one-legged Tadasana, one-legged mountain pose. Beautiful, building strength. And then lower the foot gently down. Well done. Have that little pad side to side. It's amazing how just changing your eye gaze can really affect balance, isn't it? So if you feel wibbly wobbly, keep the gaze directly forwards or on the floor. So other side, I'm on a wobbly floorboard there, so that's not setting me up for greatness, is it? So as you firm up through that right leg, that's my excuse. Pick up your left heel. It's normally me who's jumping around that distracts me. So opening the knee, we'll rest the top of the foot. Maybe using the floor as a little kickstand there, or go ahead and bring the sole of the foot. If you're bringing it above your knee, you've got that kind of gentle pressure against the inner thigh, and the inner thigh is pressing back, a little bit of resistance there, so you can squeeze the knee open. You might just want to stay there. You might, again, extend your branches up. So again, shoulders away from ears, reaching the arms up. And again, if you're feeling brave, woo, take the gaze up towards the ceiling. It's very windy out there, so you can be a tree in a breeze, that's fine. Woo! Take the gaze forwards. Slowly lower the arms with control, with control. Hands coming back to heart. It's very windy out there, isn't it? Knee points forwards. If you can just bring that knee a little bit higher. And then foot coming to floor. Well done. Have a little pad out. Bring yourself back to the top of your mat if you've moved to hold on to a piece of furniture. It really is blowy out there, isn't it? Let's sweep the arms all the way out and up. One last time. Take an inhale. And exhale all the way down. Beautiful. Last time into your flat back as you inhale. And as you exhale with 2 big steps back into your downward dog, walk your feet towards the outside of your mat. Lower your knees down to the floor so we've got our knees a little wider. Big toes can come together, and we'll find that lovely child pose with some space between your knees if that's comfortable on your hips. Go ahead and bring the knees parallel if that's more comfortable. Easing your way down there, forehead might meet the floor. And if you want to join me in a little stretch out through the shoulders, come onto the tips of the fingers on your right hand and just feed your left arm under your right arm. So easing your way down into that little thread needle. We're not resting on the ear, we're resting just above the ear, rolling that top armpit open there. Ah, lovely. And then we'll just change sides. So feeding that left arm in front, right arm underneath this time. So again, we're taking that right shoulder away from your ear so you can rest your head down just on the side of the temple, just above your ear there. Lovely. And then reaching both arms in front of you. Just pause there for a moment. And then we'll all lift our heads up. Lifting your chest so you can walk your hands back towards your knees. Beautiful. We'll point both knees forwards. Drop your bottom to one side so you can swing the legs round in front of you. We've not had our little furry friend come to visit us today, have we? I don't know where he's gone. He's clearly found somewhere more exciting to be. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale all the way down. Don't feel rejected. He's a fickle beggar. So remember that lovely option if your back is tight today. Bend your knees, wrap your hands around the backs of your legs. Just let your forehead tumble towards your knees. Ease your way down there. Keeping that softness in the backs of the legs, softness with the breath. Lovely. And then we'll walk the hands back up the legs. Right heel sliding in. And we'll let that knee open. Now, if you've got any hip issues today, you can pop something underneath the knee. You can even leave that leg extended if that's more comfortable. So inhale, sweep the arms up. Let's come down over that left leg as you exhale. Ease your way down there. So if you can find your foot, you might cross your wrists, take hold of inside and outside edge of foot. Elbows go nice and wide as you draw yourself down. If that's not happening for you today, then just keep the hands on either side of the leg or rest them on your thigh or your shin there. Lovely. Slowly releasing. Let's point that right knee up towards the ceiling, foot to the floor. Option to keep it there or cross it over the other leg. We'll keep that leg extended today. So left hand or elbow brings that knee in. Really pick up your chest as you take a big circle with the right arm now. Fingertips to the floor behind you, or like me, just wrap behind onto your low back so you can pull up nice and tall there. Maybe closing the eyes as you turn your head over that back shoulder. Keep stretching out through that extended leg. Probably wringing out through the spine. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly come back through the middle. Bring both hands behind you now so you can uncross any legs that are crossed. And just slide that right foot down until it's alongside your right shin. So press into your hands now, pick up the chest, maybe lift your chin. Option to stay there, or point the toes and lift the hips. You're pressing into that right foot. Not all shoulders will like that. Don't drop the head too far back there. And then chin tucking in, rolling your way down. Extending both legs, sweep the arms up, take an inhale. Exhale as you fold down over the legs. Again, bending your knees as much as you need to. And that's it. And then we'll walk the hands back up the legs. Sliding left heel in this time. So heel comes into groin, or you can bring the foot down a little bit lower as you open that knee out to the side. So you can always bring the sole of the foot down lower. Inhale, sweep the arm up. Not all hips might like this. So remember those adjustments, listen to your body. If you can find your foot and you want to cross at the wrists and ease your way down, go ahead and do that. Trying to bring your chest squarely down over that extended leg. We're not dipping from side to side there. That's it. Slowly, slowly walking your way back up. Well, point the knee up towards the sky. Foot can stay on the inside of the thigh, or if you can keep your big toe on the floor, cross it over to the outside. So this time we've got right hand or elbow. Squeezes the knee in. If you need to lean forwards, make sure you're picking up your chest before you circle that left arm all the way back, back, back. Hand just behind you, or wrapping the hand around your low back, stretching the other heel out in front of you. That little twist, again, maybe closing your eyes. Lovely. Slowly, slowly release, coming all the way back through the middle. Let's extend both legs so we can give them, oh, we haven't done our little twist, have we? So bring that foot back. There's me forgetting. I'm going to slide that left foot forwards. Foot you thought you had escaped, haven't you? Thought you'd escaped. Bring the sole of the foot level with the shin, hands behind you, fingertips pointing forwards. I like this one as well. So pressing into your hands, picking up through the chest. You can stay there or join me in that eastward facing plank or upward plank. You point the toes down towards the floor and you lift your hips up. We never drop the head back. Our neck won't thank us for that. Lovely. Slowly, slowly roll your way down. Beautiful. Let's slide the other heel in towards you. And then from there, ease your way down onto your back. Bringing both knees in towards your chest when you get there. Have a little rock, have a little circle side to side. Beautiful. And then bring the feet down to the floor. We'll slide one leg out in front of you, slide the other leg out and extend both arms back behind you, back where we started into that full body stretch. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring that right knee up and in towards your chest, just as we did at the beginning. Maybe you feel a little bit more space now as you stretch out through the opposite heel. Left hand to right knee. Let's just release that right arm down alongside you as you take a little final twist, rolling onto the outside edge of that left leg, carrying the knee with you. Shoulder blade might lift. You can always bring that underneath arm a little higher up towards your shoulder if that feels good. Coming back through the middle. Giving that knee one last squeeze in towards your chest before you release back into that full body stretch. And then bring the other knee in and up towards the chest there. Giving a nice squeeze, stretching out through the opposite heel. And then right hand to left knee, other arm just down alongside you or level with your shoulder as we take that little twist in the opposite direction. Shoulder blade might lift, knee might not touch the floor, that's fine. Lovely, back through the middle. Giving that knee again, one last little squeeze. And then back into that full body stretch, one last time. Go ahead and add a little wiggle there, a little ankle or wrist circle if you need to. Before you gently float the arms back down, 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 down alongside you, or a hand on the chest and the belly. If you want to keep your legs outstretched, just roll across the back of the heels a few times and then leave your toes rolled open, your heels in. We'll go ahead and come back to that lovely constructive rest. Feet on the floor, knees bent, resting your knees against each other. Go ahead and make whatever little adjustments might be called for to allow the body to become really comfortable there. Adding any layers that you might need if you're in a chillier room this morning. Spring hasn't quite sprung yet, has it? Just around the corner though, I'm sure. And just reminding ourselves as we allow the body to rest and digest the effects of a practice. The words of that lovely poet. In the rhythm of life, pauses there must be for the renewal of life. Life in its activity is ever spending itself, burning all its fuel. So taking a moment now just to let the body rest after the movement, a moment of stillness. When you're ready to face the rest of the day, hopefully feeling suitably rested. Maybe having created, again, those little pockets of pause in the midst of busyness. Just very gently start to move your body, maybe just a little roll across the back of your head, a wiggle of your fingers. Go ahead and stretch the legs out, float the arms slowly back above your head. One more glorious full body stretch if that feels good. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Take a couple of breaths there into all that space you've created this morning. And then as you float the arms down alongside you, slide those heels back in towards you one last time so you can give your knees, again, a nice big hug. Sometimes it's nice to move there. Sometimes the body just wants to stay still, whatever feels good. Thought I had our fairy friends, but no. And then roll or turn to lie on one side before finding a comfortable seated position. Lovely. Beautiful. Fingertips just finding the floor alongside you so you can gently press the floor down whilst lifting your chest, softening your shoulders. Let's take a glorious breath in together, reaching the arms up above the head. And exhaling, hands to heart, chin to chest, just thanking each other for sharing a practice, albeit via Zoom, we're still sharing a practice. And namaste. Thank you, thank you. So it's a lovely little book. It's called Recovery, The Lost Art of Convalescence, if any of you are interested, by Gavin Francis. Very good, very good.